All right, I am connecting right now. And go ahead.
Okay, good evening, everybody. Very excited to just share a little bit about the Teenager of the Year process. I think some of you have heard it on other calls. I was on the Division 12 DCM the other day, as well as the Division 13. But I wanted to be sure and was thankful that Krista asked to have me on here. The process is very similar to what's been in the past. I know last year we went completely virtual, um, online, and so I know that that's been a struggle for some folks, but we certainly want to make this as painless as possible. So just to review over a few of the process that we're going through this year, and hopefully be there to answer any questions that any of you might have about the process. I'm really excited to have our 2009 Teenager of the Year. And what's exciting to really pretty cool about this is that I reached out to several folks and said, it would really be a great idea maybe to very personalize the discussion tonight. I think that if clubs and divisions can see a person who actually went through this process, won the process of our Teenager of the Year, that might personalize it and make us really get out there to beat the bushes to find other folks like our guest speaker tonight. So Roger Deal was kind enough to connect me with Bradford Knight, who's currently living in Illinois, I believe. But the connections were so cool in that in 2009, when he was selected as Teenager of the Year for the Capital District, he was a student at Hampton High School in Hampton. Hampton High School is the school that my Downtown Hampton Club supports, and that I am the club sponsor for that club currently. So that was pretty cool. And that I was lieutenant governor back then at the time when he was selected, and that he's a Hokie. So all of this together, it was absolutely made for Brad to be with us tonight. So I just would like to have him speak for a few minutes before we get started reviewing the process, just to maybe tell us a little bit about the process that he went through, and how being selected Teenager of the Year just groomed him to be the man that he is today. Brad?
Great. Well, good evening, everyone. Thank you to Judy and Roger for inviting me to talk about being Teenager of the Year all the way back to 2009. I just want to kind of share about how it's helped me along in my journey. But I want to thank Kiwanis just for all the ways that your organization serves the community, how you support key clubs, and also how you help youth like myself. You guys do great work in the community. But Judy asked me to talk about the application process from my point of view and kind of how it was. But I was told about the scholarship and that process through at a key club meeting. And they actually had a paper applications back then. So I did it all by hand, and now it's online, as Judy just said. I think the most challenging part of the application was probably the personal statement. I was very involved in service clubs, organizations at that time, but really having to put into words why I serve, what motivates me to be involved, to give back. It was challenging putting into words. But overall, the application wasn't that difficult, but it is time consuming. And so it's important that I, started it way in advance in order to be able to have plenty of time to complete that application, because it is pretty involved. But when I was planning to attend college, getting into college was not a hurdle for me. I applied to 6 different colleges, and I got into 5 of those universities. But my biggest challenge for me was the cost. Raised primarily by a single mom, my parents didn't go to college, and so the idea of there really wasn't a college fund set aside for me. And so paying for college was a huge stress that I thought about as I was looking forward to going to college. But I did apply to several scholarships my senior year of high school, and Teenager of the Year was one of those scholarships. And I didn't expect to receive it, but I did, and I was super excited to really be recognized and given this title of Teenager of the Year. And looking back, 11 years later, I really see how getting this recognition helped me to reach my goals of higher education, but also helped me to really help others too. So I studied at Virginia Tech, as Judy said, and I did chemical engineering. And at that time, they required engineering students to purchase this $2,000 tablet PC that converted into from a computer to a tablet. And it was required for all engineering students. So my current laptop did not meet those requirements. I had to go and purchase this computer. And so the funds from the scholarship helped me to purchase that computer so I could enter the program and really do well at Virginia Tech. And I graduated in 2013 with my degree, and I ended up with a GPA of a 3.74. And I worked my last year of college. I didn't work the first 3 years of school. And, because of scholarships like yours and other organizations, I was able to focus primarily on my studies and have to work those first years. So I really believe that because of your support, I was able to actually do well and get great grades because I wasn't concerned about working as well as being in school for most of my time there. And so, yeah, finished college in 2013, and I'll kind of tell you about my journey from, I guess, after college to where I am today. So after I graduated from college, I went to Fiji for a 1-year mission trip. And while I was there, I mentored college students and also single men, helping them with character growth, really building relationships with these people here and leading Bible studies, giving lessons while I was there. And people hear Fiji and think, oh yeah, I was on the beach drinking coconuts, relaxing in the sun. That was not quite my experience. While I was there, I lived with some local Fiji people, and I didn't have air conditioning. I didn't have a hot shower, no wash and dryer in my apartment. I had bed bugs, and they took over my mattress and my bed. So I ended up sleeping on the floor for 4 months to kind of avoid those bed bugs. Funny story. I used that laptop while I was in Fiji, and the bed bugs took it over. And so I ended up leaving it there because I didn't want to take the bed bugs back with me to America. But on the flip side, I did love learning about the people there and their culture, and trying to really just seeing what it's like to live outside of America. But after being there for a year, I moved back to Hampton Roads, Virginia, to resume my engineering career in 2014. And I worked for Virginia Natural Gas for several years. First, I was a project manager. Then from there, I worked in quality engineering. And lastly, I worked as an operations supervisor for Virginia Natural Gas. But while I worked for that company, I was mentoring youth at my church, helping with character growth, just helping kind of be a positive influence in these youth and their lives. And that was something my wife and I really were passionate about, helping young people, mentoring them, just really providing that support. And so in 2018, we got the chance to do full-time youth ministry in Indianapolis, which is where she is from. And so we decided to move here to be closer to her family, but also to be able to work, with the youth, mentoring, helping, influencing middle and high school age youth at our local church. And it's been great, working with youth in that way and helping just be a friend to them, be emotional support, be kind of whatever they need as they go through life. But after 2 years, we realized that we enjoy working with youth, but we'd rather do it as volunteers and do it as a career. So we recently decided to return to our, I guess, professional careers. And so my wife kept working as a speech therapist, or started working as a speech therapist again, working with kids from the age of 3 to 18 years old. A lot of her clients, her children, have developmental issues that prohibits them from being able to communicate and talk to their family and to their friends. And then for myself, I recently got offered a job to work with a food manufacturing company as an engineer. And I'll be starting that in early January. but we both still really care about serving people. We care about serving our community. This weekend, I'm helping to organize a toy giveaway at my church for people in the community who need, some extra love during this time of year. But serving others is something that I really, really do value. And I believe getting the scholarship helped me to get my education and also have some great experiences. But this education and experience helped me to learn and grow so I can better serve others and better serve my community. And so I truly do believe just getting your support 11 years ago has helped me to be able to grow and learn and really give back in many, many ways. So thank you once again just for your support 10 years ago and for helping me along my journey.
I.
Hi.
Yeah, awesome. Thank you, Brad. Thank you so much. You're an awesome representative of the youth that serve in the Capital District for sure.
Thank you.
As you know, I was impressed with him in 2009, and today I'm still impressed with Brad.
Even more so. It's wonderful that you're still out there serving youth, both of you. So I just thought this beautiful picture that he sent me was worth sharing with everyone. What a beautiful family. And we wish you all the best in going back into your careers and certainly continuing to serve in your community too. So thank you so much for being with us. You're welcome to stay, or you're certainly welcome to go enjoy your family tonight.
But thank you again. I'll go ahead and get time with my family tonight, do some dishes, and hang out with my wife and daughter before before we go to bed. But thank you once again, and I hope you guys have a great evening.
Thank you so much,
Thanks, Brad.
So Krista, if we could just go back to that previous slide. So again, to me, I just felt like having one of the persons that we've chosen as a Teenager of the Year is the best way to say, this is what we need to be out doing, recognizing folks like Brad who are out in our communities doing great service. And to me, again, as I said before, this is an easy $2,500 gift that we can give to a youth that, yes, we give our contributions to the foundation, but the foundation in turn gives this $2,500 award to a student. So we're really trying to encourage everyone to get out and get these applications out into the community. And we want to remind everyone that the only criteria that we're looking at is that obviously they're outstanding youth like Brad, ages 13 to 18, and that they live in our Capital District. Again, the goals that we're looking at for the Teenager of the Year program is to reach as many outstanding youth in the district and to thank and recognize them for the service. If we want to build our Kiwanis clubs, we've got to congratulate and reward folks as they come up through our SLP. So this is a great opportunity to do that. And again, it helps to share the name of Kiwanis out in the community for all of the many ways that we help youth. Krista, if you can move on to, So I put here, and this is really the only slide that I have that has any basic information on it, but just as a reminder to everyone, the information about the Teenager of the Year Award was sent out to all the lieutenant governors by November the 1st of this year. And what was asked of lieutenant governors, and they did, was to forward that information to each of the clubs in their divisions as soon as possible in November. With the way schools are right now, some are virtual, some are in person, some are hybrids, some are one way one week and another. And to me, it's just been a crazy year for schools and for students. So we're hoping that giving a little bit of extra time will make the process go a little bit smoother for everyone, gives them a little extra time to do what they need to do. So once it got out to the schools, we were asking that, to the clubs, we were asking that the clubs got that information out to all the schools as soon as possible. What I have found personally, and I think I've heard others of you say, is that the guidance directors in the school divisions or the guidance directors in the individual schools are really the best resource and points of contact for you to get the information out to teenagers. But we have to remember that we don't have SLPs in every one of those middle and high schools. So we need to be sure that we're getting it out to every school that serves youth in our areas, as well as private, parochial, and schools that don't have those SLPs. You know, this is a great way for you to actually try to help build a new SLP in a school where you don't have it. You may find that there are terrific students there that are doing great service, and there's a hub of them that would be great to start a builders club or a key club. So this is a great opportunity for you to reach out to some of those non-SLP schools right now. So I have those in red because that's kind of where we are right now. My concern is that the information is getting out to the schools. I have found in being on a couple of key club calls this past week that it's not getting out to all the schools. So please, if you can, make as much effort as possible to ensure that the information is getting out to the students. They can't apply if they don't know about the award. So once students are made aware of the award, it's an online application process. It is, I mean, it's not horribly lengthy, but it does take some time to do. I think it being online really does help to expedite the process for students. They're very familiar with doing all of this stuff online, so it's not a big deal, but it does take some time for them to gather the recommendation letters and to put in some of the information that they need to put in for that. Those applications then are due. They have to be completed by students by February the 1st at 5 p.m. They have 30 days. Once they open that application up to start working on it online, they have 30 days to get it finished. If it's not done in those 30 days, and it actually says it on the bottom of that, they will have to start the whole process over. And that would be probably too frustrating and they might not do it. So just, we need to make sure that students, as they apply for this, know that it's a 30-day window to get that completed. So then those applications then will end up getting back to the clubs. And then the clubs have the month of February to get their committees together and choose their winner. And that name will have a certified letter go with it to the Lieutenant Governor. During the month of March, the Lieutenant Governor is going to have their division committee together to make a selection as to the one student that is going to go to the district. And we're hoping this year that we're going to have 17 district winners, division winners that are going to come to the district committee. We're really hoping to have someone from every single division this year. And then during the month of April, the district committee is going to review the applications and choose a district winner that will win the $2,500 cash award. And then the winners will be again certified to Governor Baugh by May 1st. Does anyone, before we go on, have any questions about this process?
Can James explain real quick what he's done? He's done excellent on this. I know he's going to do it anyway, but I'd like to give him the floor to say that.
That would be great. Actually, James came up with a letter to go to the schools where we don't have SLPs, and you've done a great job with that. Could you explain that, James? And maybe if people could use that letter as a sample?
Well, yes. First of all, I'm a club opener, and I'm trying to get my foot into the communities where we're going. And I thought TOY was an excellent method to get in front of the school systems. Now, I appreciate the comments about the letter, but I had nothing to do with the letter. I threw it at Karen Schumacher, and she did the letter. And then she sent it to me, and I didn't add anything. It was nothing for me to say. I mean, it was an excellent letter. Judy, you weren't on the meeting last night, but someone said that they sent out 60 emails to different schools in their division.
Jim,
Wow.
We'll send out 85.
85, that's just astounding. That's just astounding. I've sent out maybe 15 or 18 because of the area that I'm in. And I've got an email today from our Lieutenant Governor. I'm going to be sending some more between there and the end of the month. That cuts it tight for the 30-day window that the kids have. But I have received back from some of the schools that I sent them to that they were going to pass. I'm sending mine to the school principal and the counselor for the different grade levels within the schools. That way I know it's getting to the appropriate students. I mean, I've gotten 2 or 3 emails back saying that they passed it on to their students. So they are the people that have the ability to get it out to the students are reading our emails. The line address says we're looking for members, for teenagers to be recognized. And I believe that's what's getting the school administrators to look at this letter and pass it on to where it's got to go. Yeah, it's an excellent way to, with very little effort on our part, it's an excellent way to spread the word to the schools that we do not have a regular Kiwanis Club in front of them.
Absolutely. So would you be okay, James, or I can check with Karen if you'd rather, that we send that letter to the lieutenant governors if they want to get that out to the clubs? It's a great tool to use, as you say, to reach out to schools where we don't have SLPs currently.
I'm from the old school, you know. You need to hit them on the head about 6 times before they, I think Karen has already sent it out to the lieutenant governors and asked the lieutenant governors to pass it on. However, sometimes you got to repeat it. I know I listened to a person talking about sales. Before you make the first sale, you got to call on that individual at least 10 times, because the first 3 times they ignore you. Though I think 10 times a little overdoing it, but yeah, I think it's a great idea to send it back out to the lieutenant governors and ask the club presidents. Now, I do have a thing now, and Judy, you let's say, for instance, I have sent emails to a group of high schools. Do we want to have someone else sending another email following it up? That's the only problem. Sometimes you can overdo it.
If I'm understanding your question correctly, you're saying you sent the initial letter and should someone else follow up?
Yes.
It's up to you. You know your people better than I do. Each division may be different. It might be better for the same person to do a follow-up, and that way there's some continuity for who they're talking to and who they're working with.
I would propose that the person that sent the letter contact the lieutenant governor and have the lieutenant governor do it. That way we're guaranteed to keep them in the loop.
Bingo.
Good idea. Anybody else have any other questions about the timeline? Because I just wanted to share one other quick thing, and I'm certainly done. You want to show the next page, Krista, and maybe there are other questions on this. So really the only thing that I added this year was just being an educator and a mathematician myself. I'm all about being quantitative. I think one of the things that we just really need to be careful with the Teenager of the Year award process is that it's not a subjective process. And I think sometimes, we tend to say, well, we've got, 3 applications, but one of them's from the man who founded this Kiwanis Club, or the person who's been in our Kiwanis Club for 50 years. And so, of course, his granddaughter's got to be the winner. I think we just have to be real careful that we're using some criteria as we do that. It kind of covers us. And we're a very litigious society as it is. And our youth protection guidelines and all of that come into play, but we want to make sure that, so if a parent comes and says, well, why did this child win over my child, that at least you have some kind of criteria. So I developed with some other educators, and this is for clubs to use if they'd like, divisions to use if they like. It's not mandated. I do believe that you'll find it to be helpful for you. We've used this both at my club level and at our division level, and it's been helpful. Again, it looks overwhelming, but it really isn't. You're just taking one application and you're looking at the criteria that's actually on the application that the students are completing, and you're giving it a numerical value. That's all it is. And then at the bottom, you're going to end up having a total score, and then that will be your way to see who wins in your club. They can also submit some videos or some additional recommendation letters, and that is all included in this also for you to look at. Again, all of the information about TOY is on the district website, and if you go straight there, everything is there for you to look at. The selection criteria, the guidelines, exactly what the application requires of students, so you'll know if they ask. This is what Eric Lamb had put together for us, which is a great resource. This is just a quick way of getting it out to the clubs or to anyone. If it's someone, a teenager in your church or your community that you might encourage to apply. This right here is just easy for them to look at. They go to the website and they could look at right on our Capital District website exactly what they need to do and what the criteria is, and they go in and complete the application. Eric also, at James's request at maybe it was the Division 12 DCM, was asking about a letter that we can use to put out in the media to advertise the process too for your communities. Eric did that. I think James, you and your folks have it, but I'll be happy to send that out. If Eric, did you send that out to the lieutenant governors?
I did not. I sent it out to everyone on that email, but I can certainly do that. I can send it out to everybody. It's no problem.
Okay, and I can certainly, what I was going to do was kind of put it together in an email with a couple of different things, James's letter, a couple of things, if that's okay.
Awesome. So why don't you take charge of that and do it? That's awesome.
We'll get it out tonight.
Thanks,
So,
Judy.
sure. Thank you, Eric, for helping us with that. And the last slide, Krista, just the things that we need to do at this point is to be sure all the schools in your city or county have received the link and the information, that you get it out to the additional schools that don't have SLPs, your private and parochial schools in your area. I know that some of your private and parochial schools already have SLPs, like Hampton Roads Academy in our area, but many of them do not have any connections with Kiwanis, so be sure that they're contacted also. And then I would go ahead in your clubs and in the divisions, if you can, and be thinking about the committees that are going to review the applications, so you have that set up and that they have reviewed the process and will be ready to do their work once the applications are in.
Judy,
Again, yes.
there was, I don't know if you saw it, there was a question in the chat box about the schools not being active and clubs are not meeting, et cetera, et cetera. It really makes no difference. As long as the email that we send gets to the student counselor and the principal, if they read the email like it appears they've been doing, then they will contact the student. Now, the only problem I see, if it's a student in an area where internet service is bad and they need to go to the school or to the library. But I think if the counselors and the principals read this email, they will get in touch with their students. If they're meeting virtually or whatever, they'll get in touch with the outstanding students in their schools.
Right. And I think that the way the application is set up, I know, Catherine, you made the comment in the chat box about they're doing a majority of their school activities from home and adapting our strategies to reach them. I think we certainly have the capability to do that within the application. As you receive them, if you feel that there's a problem with that, certainly reach out and we're happy to try to help make adjustments with that. We're all making adjustments in this COVID world. Schools certainly more than any of us. So I know that they'll be willing and we can certainly work to make adjustments with that. Elena made the comment too, that she had reached out to interfaith church groups, boys and girls clubs, boy and girl scout troops. Absolutely. That's where you'll find a lot of great youth for the community. So reach out to as many of these groups as you can. Your churches have lots of these great, just like Brad, great kids that are out there doing mentoring. So please reach out to them. And Karen had a suggestion about reaching out to PTAs. Absolutely. Doesn't hurt for them to hear it 3 or 4 times for sure. Any other questions?
You know, something I'd like to add that just came to mind was one of the things Brad said. You know, this is also an opportune time to pitch the fact that with a lot of the students not being able to have part-time jobs, they've had a loss of income. And this is another opportunity where they might be come up with $2,500 that they wouldn't have had otherwise during this COVID. So, you know, again, it's think out of the box on how you can sell this to the students, to the superintendents, to the guidance counselors, to anybody you talk to, that this is another opportunity for that student to be able to get to college.
Absolutely. And certainly with the maybe some parents losing jobs and unemployment and all of that is certainly needed more than ever, I think, than in the past. So thanks to all of you for getting it out to your clubs and to students. And I'm here if you have any questions. And Elena's here. I know she'll answer questions too if anyone has some that I can't answer. And look forward to being a terrific year with our Teenager of the Year. And thanks to everybody for their help and support.
Let me add one more thing too. It's off the toy, but every year Key Club offers scholarships both at the Capital District level as well as the international level. And it's amazing how many applications they don't get. I mean, and so again, even though we're pushing toy right now, please reach out to your Key Clubs that even if they're not meeting, to let these students be where the money is, where they can go try to get some help to go to college. That's what we're all about. So, again, I just thought I'd throw that out there too, as we talk about helping kids in their future.
Well, that's why I wanted Brad to be with us tonight too. And I was
Yeah.
glad that he was able to speak to specifically how the $2,500 helped him at Virginia Tech. I think sometimes we think $2,500 is nothing. Today it maybe buys a book or two, you think, but it bought a computer for him. So,
Yeah. That's a
thank you,
great story.
Roger. Roger's maybe not with us now, but I really do appreciate him getting in touch with Brad for us. So
Yeah.
thank you for having me tonight. Hope it's going to be a great process.
Great job. Thank you, Judy.
Thanks.